What's going on? What's going on, my people? It's your boy Smooth Blaze, and I'd like to welcome you to Play Your Cards Right Networking Session 3, Part 4. Now, before we get into the important parts for this week, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my page. Also, select all on that notification bell so you do not miss one video. Again, on last week, we touched on building trust with your partner, the importance of developing chemistry. When you're playing cards or when you're playing any type of game in life, no matter if it's personal or business relationships, chemistry is essential to making sure everything flows right. Now, what we're going to learn this week is do not stop your partner or do not step on your partner's toes. Meaning, when you playing a game of spades, if he get a book off of something little, let him have it. Don't overjump this man. And what I learned from just this aspect of playing the right way when you playing spades is respecting boundaries. No matter what we're doing in life, we have to always go back to respecting boundaries. And some definitions that I've gotten or received that kind of touch on this aspect of it is one, boundaries is a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line. That's one. Boundaries definition 2, honoring ourselves as a separate individual with needs and wants that offer differently from others. Now that we have a good understanding of what boundaries are, ask yourself this question. How often do we set boundaries for both our personal and business relationships? Just think about that. And when you reflect on this, you'll start to evaluate your circle a little deeper than what it is. Now, here are some ways to understand the difference between healthy and unhealthy boundaries. We go through this in our personal life, we go through this in our professional life, but we have to be able to disseminate between the two. Now, we're going to talk about healthy boundaries and some ways to identify this. Make sure you have a pen and pad, even if you got to pause the video, so you can write this information down so you will not miss any of these key points. Now, the first point for healthy boundaries, having high self-esteem and self-respect. Above all things, your esteem needs to be high. You need to be confident in yourself. But you need to be self-respect. You need to respect yourself, meaning that you have to have morals and a good character in order to set healthy boundaries. 2, sharing personal information gradually in a mutual sharing and trust relationship, meaning that as you're building trust and building that chemistry or building healthy boundaries, you give off a little information at a time so that they can eat of it, just so that they won't take advantage of that. This way you build trust, and it's a give and take. When they give information, you'll be able to give out a little bit of information, and that's how you become close. 3, protect physical and emotional space from altruism. Meaning that when you're protecting your emotions as well as your physical, you don't give off too much information that could either incriminate you or put you in a situation where you may be hurt. You have to always protect those very delicate parts of you. 4, have an equal partnership where responsibility and power is shared, meaning that we both coming in here on good faith. We're both coming in knowing that we have a job or a certain thing that we have to accomplish, and our relationship on a personal and a business side, we both have equal power in this and equal responsibility, meaning that you're no better than the next man or no better than the next woman. 5, separate your needs, thoughts, feelings, and desires from others. Meaning that don't be focused on yourself. Don't only focus on what you desire, how you feel about it, how your thoughts matter, your own personal desires, because it could damage a long-term relationship in general, from a personal side and a business side. And the last point, number 6, empower yourself to make healthy choices and take responsibility for yourself. Meaning that internally, you need to ensure that you make healthy, sound choices and that you are taking responsibility for things that you're supposed to tackle, and also taking accountability for things that you may lack on, that you need to take more accountability for. So always remember these 6 important, healthy boundaries that need to be in place with your personal as well as your business relationships. Now last, we're going to talk about these unhealthy traits, these unhealthy boundaries. And I have 4 for you. Make sure you write this down. 1, sharing too much too soon, or at the other end of the spectrum, closing yourself off, and not expressing your needs and wants. Meaning that you just meet a person. Y'all trying to connect on a personal side or on a business side, but you giving off a little bit too much information and you barely even know this person. You don't know their intentions or whether or not they're going to use that against you long term. So take your time to get to know a person, just in general. 2.2, weak sense of your own identity. When you're trying to build a personal relationship or a business relationship, you have to understand what your identity is for you. In order to do that, you need to know exactly what you're willing to do versus what you're not willing to do. What line will you cross versus what line will you not cross? So knowing your identity as a point reference is important to understand who you are and your character. Point 3, you base how you feel about yourself on how people treat you. Meaning you move with your emotions. You don't create an atmosphere where you already know how you feel about yourself. You allow other people to teach you how to treat yourself, and not just really highlighting how you feel about yourself and understand how you feel about yourself. You're allowing others to dictate who you are. That's a no-no. Now the last thing will be number 4. You allow others to make decisions for you, and you feel powerless and do not take responsibility for yourself. You never want to be in a personal or business relationship where everybody else is making decisions on your behalf and you lose your values, your power, and it really erases a lot of responsibility for your life. You never want to be in that situation because that makes you too vulnerable and you're not a valuable asset to the relationship, if it's business, if it's personal. So now that we have an understanding of what healthy barriers we have versus unhealthy barriers, ask yourself these last closing questions. Do you believe you have set healthy barriers in your current relationships? Just evaluate each person that you interact with on a daily or weekly basis. Just try to figure out what you're doing and are they healthy? And if not, what are some ways you can erase some of these unhealthy boundaries? Meaning, I identified who is the person or persons in my personal or business relationship that I need to get rid of. It may hurt, but I got to get rid of them in order for me to continue to bring healthy relationships back into the vicinity, into our vicinity. So before we close, I would like to thank you for taking the time out to watch my video, get a little tips, a little knowledge from me, because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about you. So being able to take this information, manipulate it, use it, and push your life in a positive way. So before we close, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my page Also, make sure you select that notification bell and select all so you do not miss one of my videos. Now, as we close, remember this important phrase. We cannot control the hand that was dealt for us, but we can move with a purpose. It's your boy, Smooth Blaze, and I'm signing out. Peace and love.